minutes till broadcast. One minute till broadcast. .30 seconds till broadcast. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Broadcasting from the heart of the nation, the next generation in conservative talk radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Why, yes, it is. What is up, my friends? Welcome into it. It is your midweek celebration, greatest day of the entire week. We're setting that tone, doing the thing as we do each and every day here on the program. And as we are moving through, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel as we carpe diem all over this place for a Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dude.
And that's what it's all about. Welcome into it. It is the Voice of Reason. I'm Andy Hooser, broadcasting out of the heart of the nation in Wichita, Kansas on our flagship radio station. But we are all over the country. So many great radio affiliates as we continue to grow each and every day, doing our thing.
Do it live!
Here on the program like we do each and every day. We got a big show lined up for you today. We may have the next few minutes. Professor William Watkins, Bill Watkins, he has a new book coming out. He is part of the Independent Institute, also a new book, The Independent Guide to the Constitution. Can we get back to constitutional values? That is the big question. We'll do that here in just a little bit with him. But there is a lot happening today.
What's trending today?
Man, I don't know if you've seen it. I woke up right out of the gate this morning and saw Donald Trump's speech that we'll get to here momentarily at the World Economic Forum. Man, I love Donald Trump, how he just don't care, and he lays down that gauntlet on politicians all over the world, man. He knows exactly what he wants. He knows exactly how he's going to handle those guys, and he just calls them out, and it's great. So we'll get to that in just a minute. First and foremost, though, I do want to address, apparently the next few days, there is a cold front coming in for the Mid-America region, the East Coast and beyond. Very scary, very scary. And apparently people are just going into absolute paranoia. Here's the crazy part. I'm not sure if you're aware or not. It's wintertime! And with winter season comes snow. And with winter season comes cold weather and freezes and things. And I don't know why we always go into this panic. I think it's part of the sensationalism of the media. They have to sell. They have to get their ratings. So it's about, oh my gosh, it's the worst snowstorm you've ever seen ever. Oh my gosh, it's going to be really cold. Here in Wichita, Kansas, where I'm based out of, apparently by Friday, we are going to be at like 12 degrees. Overnight Friday into Saturday, it will be in the negatives. And by Saturday, we will be like maybe in single digits, but overnight at like negative 15 or so degrees, which to me, man, I'm excited about it. I can't wait. We're also supposed to be getting anywhere between like 5 to 12 inches. I don't know. They throw it in between like a quarter of an inch to 4 feet. We really just don't know. So that's the beauty of the weather forecasters out there. Here's what I will say is that they are saying that this is supposedly supposed to be shaping up to kind of what we had seen about 3-4 years ago, where especially Texas, Oklahoma, where they're going to be getting the brunt of this and getting a lot of snow. They're not prepared for a lot of that. And I really, really hope, here's the headline for politicians and for those that are frustrated with politicians and the way the government works, is that I really hope Texas, for an example, really learned their lesson from last time. And I don't know that they necessarily have, because if you remember, they were having brown and blackouts in Texas because they've never experienced really cold weather like that. The deep freezes, a lot of snow. I'm sure that the people don't know how to drive in the snow down in Texas when something like that happens. But more than that, they were having brown and blackouts because they didn't have a reliable source of energy. They had ended a lot of their coal energy. They were running out of electricity, and they started having these brown and blackouts. It was leaving people in really bad conditions. Now, as people that are survivalists, we know that, hey, you light some fires, you light some candles, you have your concoctions to keep your pipes from freezing. You know, you do your thing. We're just prepared for that because we're prepared for anything. So for me, I'm like, okay, it's cold outside. Oh, no, we lost power. Whatever will we do? Like, I'm really not too terribly worried about it. People that don't act that way, though, it's the end of the world, and they truly think that they're probably not going to last if the internet, especially the internet, man, the young kids, if they don't have the internet.
We're all gonna die because of you!
Yeah, they're going to lose their minds. So I really hope, and this is the message for Texas, and then we'll move on here, is the officials in Texas, I hope, have learned their lessons in the 4 years since the deep freeze that we had seen. I want to say it was in 22, right? February of 22, and that crazy like negative 20-degree weather rolled through the Mid-America region, and all that snow and ice hit. I really hope they learned their lesson, and they realize that you cannot rely on just the electric grid to just maintain, but we're actually going to need to have preparations and additional energy in case something crazy like this happens, and gas usage goes up, and electricity use goes up, and we end up doing something that is needed to keep, I don't know, us alive and warm during a crazy wintertime, or vice versa during the summertime when it's really, really hot and people are running their electric vehicles and their AC all at the same time that apparently you're not allowed to do. Have they reopened up those coal plants? That will be the telltale sign on exactly what happens. I really hope as well here in Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, the Mid-America region where I'm at, is that they've prepared as well for the potential increase of usage of natural gas to where we don't have $2,500 gas bills like we did that time as well, because we had to buy on the market at that time because we didn't do any preparations. Maybe we should be a little bit smarter. This will be the sign. 4 years later, have Americans learned their lessons? And we can guess on exactly what that's going to look like. All right, that being said, bottom of the hour, we have Julian Hagman on the program. We'll, with Caring Professionals Incorporated, we're going to chat about the threat of the Trump administration, U.S. Department of Agriculture, Medicare, Medicaid services, all these social programs that could be cutting off funding of blue states for their social programs because of the money that's going to illegal aliens. And again, according to these Democrat states, they get very angry about that message.
We're all gonna die because of you!
And therefore, it's in lawsuits and being challenged in the courts right now. But we'll talk with Julian Hagman about that in just a little bit. That being said, though,
What's trending today?
did you wake up to the news today? Holy cow, man. The Trump administration, right out of the gate. I was driving to the studio this morning, and it popped up that Donald Trump was speaking at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. And it was so much different compared to what we had seen under the, who was it? France with Macron yesterday when he was wearing his aviators in there, and he was like, oh, we want more China to come in and invest in Europe. It was such a different statement from Donald Trump when he came in. And by the way, did take a shot at Macron for wearing the aviators because that was just a little bit silly. But it was, I love it because Donald Trump, and maybe this is something that we've forgotten throughout the years of Donald Trump being, well, Donald Trump, is that we really appreciate the fact that we have a guy that's not afraid to call out politicians to their face. Normally in this situation, in World Economic Forum, the United Nations, different committees like this, the global stage, when you have these other leaders of other worlds sitting right there in front of you, staring at you, you do this heartwarming, fluffy speech of, we want to work together, we have this great vision, we're going to make the world great, we're going to work together and hold hands and sing Kumbaya. And they try to like send their message across, but they do it in a very fluffy kind of way. Donald Trump doesn't do that. Donald Trump walks up to the World Economic Forum and says, Europe has a lot of great potential, but you guys are kind of sucking right now. And you don't need China. You need the United States. And by the way, I want to take over Greenland. And he really just kind of went after him.
All right, Fox News alert.
Oh, by the way, that's the wrong one. Let's go to Donald Trump here. This is at the World Economic Forum talking about Greenland.
So we want a piece of ice for world protection, and they won't give it. We've never asked for anything else, and we could have kept that piece of land, and we didn't. So they have a choice. You can say yes, and we will be very appreciative, or you can say no, and we will remember.
I mean, there's that. Right to their face. Right in the front of the global stage at the World Economic Forum. He goes on to say that apparently, and there was a tweet, which is that first headline that we had seen, apparently afterwards there was a closed-door meeting with members of the World Economic Forum with NATO and others discussing Greenland. And the headline for Fox News today.
All right, Fox News alert out of Davos, Switzerland. Breaking right now, new information from President Trump about Greenland. Posting moments ago on Truth Social, he said, based upon a very productive meeting that I have had with the Secretary General of NATO, Mark Rutte, we have formed the framework of a future deal with respect to Greenland and, in fact, the entire Arctic region.
All right, so he goes on, by the way, in this tweet or this Truth Social from President Donald Trump, saying the solution, if consummated, will be a great one for the United States of America and all NATO nations based on this understanding. I will not be imposing the tariffs that were scheduled to go into effect on February 1st. Additionally, discussions are being held concerning the Golden Dome as it pertains to Greenland. Further information will be made available as discussions progress. Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and various others, as needed, will be responsible for the negotiations. They will report directly to me. Thank you for your attention to this matter. This really shows, in my opinion, the character that Donald Trump has. Number one, he's not letting Greenland go. Number two, he literally called them out in person at his speech that led to a behind-the-scenes conversation with the Secretary General of NATO to lead to what he says is an optimistic takeover of Greenland moving forward. And number three, and probably the most important here, and this goes to the legacy of the MAGA movement, the way that a business leader runs his operation and the way that Donald Trump likes to run as a leader, that he doesn't need to be the head front guy in the negotiation. Do you hear what he just did? The biggest piece of the pie, the thing that he's got the tunnel vision for, he's got the blinders on. He does not care about any other foreign policy right now except for the consummation of Greenland and taking over for the United States, is he's putting it in the hands of Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, along with others. And he's like, hey, they're capable of doing this. I want it done. They're capable of doing it, and you're going to be dealing with them for the negotiations. To me, that's kind of cool. That's kind of a side note. But I think it shows the character of Donald Trump, of who he is as a leader, why he's successful in business, and the team that he has around him that he trusts fully, and that the MAGA people, for the most part, really trust as well. I think that's really neat. That was not the only thing he talked about, though, during the World Economic Forum. He talked for almost 2 hours, I believe, and just went off the rails, calling out Canada, that they should be more appreciative to the United States, and rail on them to their face. Called out Russia, called out Ukraine, said that they were having these private meetings, and then went after, really, Europe for just the use of alternative energies.
There are windmills all over Europe. There are windmills all over the place, and they are losers. One thing I've noticed is that the more windmills a country has, the more money that country loses, and the worse that country is doing. China makes almost all of the windmills. And yet I haven't been able to find any wind farms in China. Did you ever think of that? It's a good way of looking at it. They're smart. China's very smart. They make them. They sell them for a fortune. They sell them to the stupid people that buy them. But they don't use them themselves. They put up a couple of big wind farms, but they don't use them. They just put them up to show people what they could look like. They don't spin. They don't do anything.
Here's the bigger question. I don't know that this necessarily changed any minds in the World Economic Forum. A lot of these countries, they have their own agenda. They're doing their own thing. They're lost in their own cesspool of politicians or elitism or whatever they do. And Donald Trump is so vastly different than that, which is why he gets the negative publicity from there, which is totally okay. I mean, we don't care about that whatsoever. The publicity, the elitists, they can look down upon us as those dirty Americans anytime they want to. Really doesn't matter in that sense, but at the same time, it is kind of refreshing that he just calls them out the way it is. And if he does wake anybody up at all, and he changes any minds or lights the fire or that light bulb pops on them at all, it would be statements like that. When we have Mr. Macron from France, that is out there saying that we need more investment of technology and of energy and so on and so forth from China in Europe, which is kind of ridiculous and kind of crazy to me, that he would advocate for that mentality. And then Trump comes out there and he's like, hey, China's making all these windmills, we're making all the money, you guys are using them, you're losing money on energy, and then China's benefiting from it when they're not even using the same technology. And he calls them out. If they're willing to listen, then they would be like, well, you know what? He's got a point. Maybe we should do something a little bit different. And I applaud, by the way, France, because 80% of their energy is done by nuclear power. And we're finally starting to get our technology to get to that point. So they've done it right. And then all of a sudden he's like, maybe we should use some more solar and wind power. It doesn't make any sense. Trump calling them out to their face, kind of epic today. If you've not heard the speech, highly recommend it. It's pretty awesome. We got lots more to get to today for your midweek celebration. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
When America builds, the world follows. Our energy powered the 20th century. We've set the standard for generations, and we never waited for permission. But now, we're being held back. Outdated rules, endless delays. Without permitting reform, Washington's red tape is slowing us down while other nations race ahead. It doesn't have to be this way. We can clear the way for energy that's affordable, reliable, and built right here. Because what's built here is felt here. Lower costs, more jobs, stronger communities. That's what permitting reform makes possible. Energy didn't just shape our country, it powered the American dream. And with our innovation, we can lead the 21st century. Congress has a choice. Build America's energy future or risk falling behind. Tell Congress, pass permitting reform now.
Miss any part of the show? Well, don't worry. Now's your chance to go find the podcast and listen to as much of the Voice of Reason as you'd like. As the show continues to grow all across the nation with great radio affiliates, we also continue to grow as one of the top conservative podcasts, ranked 5th on the MillionPodcast.com Best 50 Conservative Leadership Podcasts in the nation, and number 1 on FeedSpot.com's 30 Best Conservative Talk Shows in the country. The show continues to grow each and every day. Just find us on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser. Hey, did you know that you can have multiple different networks on one single smartphone? Well, with Patriot Mobile, you can. It's time for you to sign up for the Patriot Mobile primary phone plan with plans as low as $15 a month, where you can have 2 numbers and 2 networks on one single phone. And right now, if you sign up using the promo code REASON, you can get an entire month absolutely free. It's the Patriot Mobile One plan. 1 phone, 2 numbers, and 2 networks. And it's all at patriotmobile.com/reason. Again, patriotmobile.com, and use the promo code REASON.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did 2 guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
When reason meets radio. This is the voice of reason with Andy Hooser.
Welcome back into the show. Great to have you today for a Wednesday. It is Wednesday, what?
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
That's right, my friends. Welcome back into it. You can find our website, HooserReason.com, HOOSER Reason.com. If you have not printed off, by the way, your bingo card, political bingo card of 2026, you probably need to do that because things are starting to happen. Let's see if any of them actually get used. But you can print it off. It's a PDF. It's right on the home screen if you go to HooserReason.com. Right after the first couple things on there, you'll see it, and then there's the PDF that you can download, print it, put it on your refrigerator. Let's see how many of these political predictions that we have here on the show,
Andy's prediction,
actually come true with our Voice of Reason 2026 political bingo card of the year, especially after that speech at the World Economic Forum. And by the way, I do get your messages. Yes, I work very hard on my my French accent. Thank you for that. I did actually take 4 semesters of French in high school. I really enjoyed learning it. I don't remember any of it now. I could maybe read a little bit of it, kind of, maybe, but I always had a hard time listening to it and then trying to respond. I was better at actually reading it and trying to decipher it that way. But I did take 4 semesters of French in high school. I had the choice, either Spanish or French, and I wanted to try to woo the ladies with my French. And well, I did get my wife, but I met her before I even started taking that. We were high school sweethearts my freshman year of high school before I even started taking French. So there is that. Nonetheless, I want to tell you about my friends over at Lean. As you know, I've been taking Lean since the beginning of the year. I feel awesome. Losing weight a little bit every day. It burns the energy, it burns the fat in your body, giving you energy, and it's been really great. It's way better than the fad diets that you've tried over the years. The juice cleanses, the cabbage soup diet, the raw food diets, whatever you do, they're not sustainable. And you may lose some weight, but then you gain it right back because you can't sustain those types of lifestyles. Doctors call it weight cycling, and half of Americans do it. You lose some pounds, you gain them back, plus a little bit more. It's really tough on your body. It's really tough on your organs, especially, and it leaves you really frustrated. Bottom line, most people need help losing weight, and here's a great way to do it with your non-prescription Lean. It was created by doctors. Lean's an oral supplement, not an injection, and the science is really impressive. It helps maintain your healthy blood sugar, it controls your appetite and your cravings, and it burns fat by converting the fat that you have stored in your body into energy, and that helps keep the weight off. If you want to lose meaningful weight at a healthy pace and keep it off, add Lean to your diet and your exercise lifestyle. Right now, for my listeners, you get 20% off when you order. Go to takelean.com and enter the promo code REASON at checkout. That's REASON. Again, takelean.com and use the promo code REASON at takelean.com. All right, Donald Trump rocking it at the World Economic Forum. Now, for some reason, Gavin Newsom, Mr. Slick Hair himself from California, was out there at the World Economic Forum as well. I don't know why, because he's not the leader of a nation. He is the 5th largest economy in the world. I get that with the state of California. He's the gummy bear of California. Yeah, I get that he's a big economy, but there's really no reason for him to be out there. Donald Trump's representing the United States of America and his administration. Now, Gavin Newsom thinks he's going to be the next president of the United States. So he showed up and was trying to rub shoulders with the really cool elites, the high society for the world, thinking that he's going to make some kind of mark, and then took a shot at not only took a shot at Donald Trump, but took a shot at leaders of other countries that are going along and working with the Trump administration. And I find that kind of strange. We don't have time to play it before the break, but when we come back, Scott Bessent, our Treasury Secretary, ripped Gavin Newsom for that. And he has a new term for Gavin, which we are going to start using on this program because it was epic. I think it's perfect the way he described Gavin Newsom and why he's there at the World Economic Forum trying to rub shoulders with these guys when we have a major mental health crisis, a major homelessness issue, the people, the business owners especially, the people with money vacating the state of California en masse, and he's desperate trying to keep them in place while he's wanting to raise taxes and higher regulations over these businesses, tech industries, and so on and so forth. So Gavin Newsom trying to make his mark by rubbing those shoulders, hoping that he can get his name out there for the upcoming 2028 presidential races. Will it work? My opinion says no, but we'll see what Democrats do moving forward. We got lots more to get to around the corner. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left finds new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back. And that's where we can help. Head to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can find our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Let us know your thoughts on current events with different surveys and chat rooms. And keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Plus, when you head to the website, you can always get great deals and different offers from all of our great radio partners. Finally, if you want more of the show, you can find our podcasts with all of our great episodes and your favorite guests. And make sure to check out the latest Voice of Reason infomercials and maybe some other special content. And it's all because of you being part of the Hoosier-holic family. Let's continue to fight for conservative common sense principles together by going to HooserReason.com. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did two guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy the Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hooser Reason on all of our social media sites. For all these social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreements always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hooser Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosierholic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosierholics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hooser Media Network. Find out more information online at HooserReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more, we have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with the Voice of Reason.
Truth, reason, and common sense. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, welcome back into the program. Great to have you today for a midweek celebration. Have no fear, the Voice of Reason is here. Oh, don't tell me. Oh, there it is. Have no fear, the Voice of Reason is here. That's what I was going for. All right. By the way, if you miss any of the program, I know I talk about it quite a bit, but hey, if you have not signed up, subscribe to the podcast. This program goes up on podcast platforms afterwards. It is not like a separate thing. It's not a radio show and then we do another podcast. It is radio show uploaded to podcast formats, and we do very, very well with it. We continue to win some awards. We've grown exponentially, like a 40% growth of downloads year over year last year, which was awesome. Thank you for that. Just find us on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser. Also, I know it's hard to believe we are a week away from the end of the month of January. That means newsletter time again. Our newsletter comes out the very first Monday of every month. You can subscribe by becoming a Hoosierholic by going to our website again at HooserReason.com, HOOSER Reason.com. All right, real quick, this kind of sets the stage for our next guest on the program, but as Gavin Newsom was trying to rub shoulders with the World Economic Forum elite out there in Davos, Switzerland. Not sure why he was there in the first place. Scott Bessent had some few words to say and describe Gavin Newsom.
Governor Newsom, who strikes me as Patrick Bateman meets Sparkle Beach Ken, may be the only Californian who knows less about economics than Kamala Harris.
That is probably the best speech I've ever heard. Hold on, we got to play that again. That is... If Gavin Newsom becomes the nominee for president in 2028, that's what we're saying.
Governor Newsom, who strikes me as Patrick Bateman meets Sparkle Beach Ken, may be the only Californian who knows less about economics than Kamala Harris.
Absolute pure gold.
He's here this week with his billionaire sugar daddy, Alex Soros.
Oh, my gosh.
And the Davos is a perfect place for a man who, when everyone else was on lockdown, when he was having people arrested for going to church, he was having $1,000 a night meals at the French Laundry, and I'm sure the California people won't forget that.
Wow. So Scott Bessent just went vicious against Gavin Newsom. Kind of funny, right? Right to him, man.
In the face! In the face!
All right. Golly. All right, let's get to our next guest here on the program.
What's trending today?
We talk about the Trump administration and talking of California potentially freezing some of their social programs, SNAP benefits, Medicare, Medicaid. Where are we at? Why? Because of them giving money, taxpayer money, of social programs to illegal migrants, the sanctuary cities, the sanctuary state between Minnesota, California, and a few other deep blue states right now. We are in a complete mess. I don't know if, by the way, you heard of Nick Shirley, our independent journalist that broke a lot of the Somali fraud up in Minnesota, testified with Congress today.
I'm here today to speak on behalf of all hardworking, law-abiding, tax-paying citizens here inside of the United States. I've helped bring to light widespread fraud that's happening inside our nation, and we the people have had enough of our hard-earned money going towards fraudsters as if it's no big deal. As I speak here, I want to ask everyone a question. How much do we trust when we pay our taxes it's going to benefit our nation? People erupted during the Boston Tea Party over just a few percentages as they believed they were being taxed without representation. Nowadays, we have the representation, but do we trust our representatives?
Boom, and that's where we go to with our next guest on the program. Really happy to have on here. He is the Chief Operating Officer for Caring Professionals Incorporated. Really happy to have on Julian Hagman. Julian, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on the show. What a wild time that we're living in right now. We have fraud that's just been accepted or looked the other way on for so long in social programs that now that we're trying to clean a lot of this up, people are losing their minds over this right now.
Yeah, this has been an ongoing problem across the nation, for some time now. And, I'm very happy it's finally getting the light of day it deserves.
Yeah, let's go to some of the fraud that we're starting to expose. Obviously, with Nick Shirley exposing the fraud in Minnesota and the billions, potentially, of dollars up in the state of in Minnesota alone. We have California right now, the sanctuary states, sanctuary cities. Are you optimistic? Could we actually see the freezing of these social programs in these states until they clean up these rolls?
I don't know how you freeze all the social programs. You definitely, something needs to happen where an audit needs to be conducted, because as Nick was saying at the end there, right? It's not so much the individuals that are committing the fraud at the bottom end. It's the people we have in power that are putting the policies together that are creating the fraud and are creating the issues and are ignoring the warnings from the good standing businesses out there and not doing anything and letting things run out of control. Right. And that's when all of a sudden they start putting out these blind requests for proposals. That's all a backroom deal.
Yeah.
Right. So they're just selling it off to the highest bidder because they created a high value asset. And that's how our legislature are looking at things.
Yeah. How do you think we got to that point, Julian? We had, when Elon Musk came out of Doge and was talking about what he was finding, he was saying, especially in the Treasury Department, there are just blank checks. There's no memos. There's no reason for it. There's no validation that it's even getting to where it's supposed to be going. There's just blank money, blank checks being sent out. They submit it. It gets approved. It goes out, and we don't even check to see what's going on. How in the world did we get so... I get that it's government work, and we always joke about it's good enough for the government, why not? But how in the world did we get that negligent when we have tens of thousands of federal government employees in these agencies that are supposed to be doing these jobs?
Well, listen, you can talk about the tens of thousands of federal government of employees, right? What about the tens of thousands of state employees, right? Because it all trickles down, right? So, the states have the same kind of structures in place, and you can go into most states, and they have an open book from the state comptroller, and they'll show all their contracts and all the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of billions of dollars that they're contracted to spend each year, right? And you go in and you look at these things and you see just one line item, consulting, and then you should be able to go in and see more detail, and it's just blank, right? So this is happening nationally on a major scale.
Is it done intentionally, or did we just slowly build up to that point to where it looks really bad? Is this essentially a shell company? The NGOs, for example, where they do 10% of what the NGOs say they're going to do, and then the rest of it is, funding political campaigns and funding, USAID stuff that's like transgender, Barney out in Nigeria. Did we slowly just build to that point because no one was looking, or was it intentionally built that way to try and get away with this fraud?
It was built this way to get away with the fraud. It had to have been, right? There's no possible way otherwise, right? You have too many interests that are involved. You have the unions that have very heavy influence, right? Because they get membership dues, and what's an easier way to unionize a couple 100,000 people, right? Is if you consolidate the workforce to one employer.
Yeah.
Right? That's lock, stock, and barrel, right? You get them all in one shot. You don't have to go to 100, 200, 300 different providers, right? You just go to one shop, create one contract, you pass contracts off. You start with pilot programs that become successful, and then you sell that off to the highest bidder. And that's just the way it's been. And then you look at how states are organized, and most states use GAAP accounting, right? They only have a limited number of people that work in their, Department of Health that work directly for the state, right? Otherwise, they're third-party subcontractors hired by a subcontracting firm, right? And then you can start looking at other conflicts of interest that come into play, right? Because in New York, for instance, right, we have this one company, Public Partnerships LLC, that won a no-bid $12 billion a year contract, right?
Yeah.
And their parent company actually consults for New York State Department of Health Medicaid, manage the long-term care, where this program that they won a bid for resides. And you go in and you look, and they actually staff the staffing company that staffs individuals in the Department of Health that wrote the RFP.
Of course they do.
Right?
Of course they do.
And so they have an interest, from beginning, right, from a standard consulting, contracting relationship with the state to the ends to where they're getting money on both sides.
Yeah.
And that's the major issue. That's how the money gets funneled back to the politicians through these NGOs, through the PACs, through the, hundreds of companies the PE companies own that all make, the minimum or maximum donation of a few $1,000s, multiply that by, the 100 companies they own.
Right.
It gets insane.
It does get insane. So here's the big question then, Julian, is how do we stop that type of system? It's so ingrained almost in the system itself. And in fact, when you have 60 to 70% of the entire federal budget that are social programs, where all of it's based on this type of style and this system that's been built to allow this to happen, how do you stop that and change the system altogether? Is that even possible?
It is possible. And all you have to do is common sense. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. It needs an audit to come in with some common sense and say, where's the money going?
Sure.
Right? And follow to where it's going. That's why, Trump was just talking about, the healthcare giving, the individuals the cash or the credit, right, to pay for the healthcare, right? Because of all of these people that are taking a piece along the way in the standard system. Right? You have the state that subcontracts everything to remove liability from themselves. So they subcontract to the managed care organizations, the major health insurers of the country, right? They take their 30% no matter how they cut it. They're going to get their 30%.
That's right.
Then they subcontract all their duties to other people that are trying to make money. And then they subcontract those duties again. So there's, by removing all that waste, right, you're creating a more efficient system. However, right, you have to look out for increased fraud on the other ends, because no matter however you look, there's going to be somebody that's trying to figure out an angle.
Sure.
And that's why it's so important to work with the community of providers, right? I've had my fair share of meetings in Albany, sitting down with the legislature, trying to explain the program, Department of Health heads, and saying this is what needs to happen.
Yeah.
And
clean out the middleman.
What they want to write on legislature is completely different than what is really happening in real world.
It's a great point.
Right.
Julian, hang on the line. We got to take a hard break here. It's Julian Hagman with the Caring Professionals Incorporated. I want to continue this when we come back around the corner. Stay here for the Voice of Reason.
Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Big government is broken. Every year, politicians fail to pass a budget as the deficit continues to grow. Every month, unelected bureaucrats pile on rules no one voted for, strangling our economy. And every day, D.C.'s broken system gets in the way of the American dream. Washington isn't working, and the people pay the price. At Americans for Prosperity, we believe it's time to fix the system. Now, join the movement to make government work.
When it comes to something like sausage, I know you want the best quality, the best flavor, and the best in services. Andy Hooser here for J&S Smoked Snacks. And it's time for you to try their handcrafted sausage, made in small batches for freshness and seasoned with their signature blends. You won't find anything else like it. Make sure to try their one-of-the-kind dill pickle sausage made with real pickles, or spice things up with my favorite, the jalapeno cheddar sausage. Taste the difference today at jssmokedsnacks.com and tell them I sent you.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy The Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hooser Reason on all of our social media sites. For all the social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreement's always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month, you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hooser Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosierholic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosierholics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hooser Media Network. Find out more information online at HooserReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more, we have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with the Voice of Reason.
Common sense. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
All right, welcome back into the program. Great to have you here. So I think we're still going the way we should be. Had a little power blip here temporarily for the sake. It's not even cold out yet. We haven't even had the snowstorm yet. But we did lose our guest, Julian Hagman. We'll try and get him back on for the last couple minutes of the program. But we did end up losing just a quick little blurb of power for these. By the way, second time today, too, in the city of Wichita. I'm telling you, man, we're supposed to be a first world country with a steady stream of power, and yet is that... No, come on, man. Absolutely crazy. So we'll try and get Julian back on the show. We'll see if our phone lines come back up for the next couple minutes. If not, we'll get him rescheduled again here soon. Great conversation as we look at a system that has been built to be used for corruption. And like he said, bad guys are always going to find a way to do bad things. Bad guys are always going to find a way to use corruption in some fashion. So even if we change the system, then they will find ways to scam money out of the government or out of corporations or out of whatever. At the same time, though, if we're giving money directly to the people, I would think cutting out 4 layers of the middleman is going to do 2 things. It's going to limit the ability for them to do fraud, because obviously they have less ways through the system to do that, so they just have to come up with new people, fake IDs, fake systems, whatever, in order to get that money. But number 2, it's also going to lower costs, right? We don't have to go through 2 or 3 different middlemen. And I say that's pretty good news. Hey, I want to tell you about my friends over at Americans for Prosperity. As you know, that we are getting ready for a major healthcare debate, the great healthcare plan the Trump administration is trying to propose. Congress working on a quote-unquote bipartisan bill. What kind of pressure do we need to put on our elected officials? It's happening now. You don't want to waste any time, so there's no need for you to think, well, I'm going to do it later on. No, do it now. There's no reason to wait. Just go to personaloption.com. Personaloption.com, Americans for Prosperity, advocating for more options in the private market for you and your family to have the options that you want and that you need to properly take care of your family in those healthcare crises. And you want to make sure that you have all the options, all the ability for you to do that yourself. Go to personaloption.com. Personaloption.com with our friends over at Americans for Prosperity. Now, with this hearing that we had with Nick Shirley, again, we asked a simple question. The government's supposed to be set up for a personal plan, for a sort of structure on how it operates, and is it representing the people based on the taxpayer money that we're paying into it?
I'm here today to speak on behalf of all hardworking, law-abiding, tax-paying citizens here inside of the United States. I've helped bring to light widespread fraud that's happening inside our nation, and we the people have had enough of our hard-earned money going towards fraudsters as if it's no big deal. As I speak here, I want to ask everyone a question. How much do we trust when we pay our taxes it's going to benefit our nation? People erupted during the Boston Tea Party over just a few percentages as they believed they were being taxed without representation. Nowadays, we have the representation, but do we trust our representatives?
We have do we have the representation? Right now, Congress's approval rating is at like 20%, 15%. Now, that being said, on top of that, Republicans do have more support in Congress than Democrats, which I find quite shocking. Well, not really shocking. More shocking in the sense that Democrats in the mainstream media try to say that everybody hates what Republicans are doing, but yet I agree with the ideas Republicans try to espouse. We just have to act upon them because we haven't codified a whole lot. So I guess there is that aspect to it, right? We got to actually at least do something right now when we haven't been able to do a whole lot through Congress. But they are working on their appropriations bills. They are working on trying to codify the Trump administration. Hopefully we can have a health care plan that will be somewhat productive in getting rid of Obamacare. But that's the question that you need to walk away from today is, do we have a proper representation? And if we do have the quote-unquote republic form of government, not democracy, but a republic form of government that's representing the people, then do we have the tax money that's reflecting that as well? No taxation without representation, right? And if we have, let's say, the representation, then we also need to have the taxation to reflect that too. But imagine how much money we could save. $1 trillion, a couple $100 billion at least with fraud across the nation, with a system that was built, these government agencies built on the idea that we need to have fraud in some aspect, or that they're going to take advantage of the system in some aspect. And we're just scratching the surface of where that's at. Once we go deeper and we do these audits, if we're able to do these audits, then we could start changing the system. The question is, though, will we see results, or will it just be like we do with every other investigation on the Clintons, an investigation on this person, an investigation on this person, and calling them to congressional hearings over here? We do all this talking. There's never any action. When will someone go to jail for the fraud and corruption that we're seeing in the system? That is what we need to know. By the way, speaking of, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna calling for the impeachment of a few judges now that are holding up the release of all of the Epstein documents. It's been trickling out. We don't want to trickle. We want the mass dump right here, right now, and the judges that are holding it up, Anna Paulina Luna calling on their impeachment. We'll see what happens moving forward there. Back at it again tomorrow for a Thursday. Until then, we'll see you back on the radio. Bye. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You know, when I get off the air every day, the battle for me against limited government, censorship, and even unfactual content is far from over. That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hooser Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the voice of reason along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the voice of reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast. Become your own voice of reason and bring your expertise to any fun issue or topic. For information on all of our shows, links to podcasts, each show website or social media link, or to find out about everything we do to challenge the mainstream establishment, visit our website at HooserMedia.com. Again, that's HooserMedia.com, the future of media.
Want to hear more of KQAM? Don't forget to download our app today. Fill out weekly surveys, register to win great prizes, listen live, message our shows, and so much more. Plus, get reminders of special programming and events you don't want to miss. Just find SC Wichita in your app store and make KQAM your new favorite app. It's Wichita's Big Talker, right on your phone. Download the SC Wichita app today with Wichita's Big Talker, KQAM.
Italian subs for your finance team at Chicago. Easy Cater. Burritos for your call center crew in Plano. Easy Cater. Bagels for your sales reps meeting clients in Charlotte. Easy Cater. Hot chicken sandwiches for your